Conversation with myself like this better work. That's why I get peace of myself almost every verse. I spent my whole life grinding, I ain't asked for help. I used to starve as a kid, I had to feed myself. Remember all the hard times we kept trying. And we rise and we fall. The times we had to walk, now we stay flying. Now we grind till we ball.
Got to cover it up. You like to play your own game. Cover it up. Don't let them know what you're thinking. I bet you never tell them how it feels.
We gon' tell it to the all, nigga.
I bet you never even try to be.
You never be my downfall, nigga. Fool me once, I guess that's life. But you ain't fucking with a dummy, so it won't be twice. Say you wouldn't, but you did, and that shit hurt. Any nigga put me last, gotta feel me first. Fool me once, I guess that's life. But you ain't fucking with a dummy, so it won't be twice. Say you wouldn't, but you did, and that shit hurt. Any nigga put me last, gotta feel me first. Gotta feel me first. You know what's worse? Go from building sandcastles to feeling like dirt. Go from talking every day to fall asleep in your shirt. Your mama always send a text like I hope it'll work. But I'm on to the next thing. Wish I was a nigga, let my nuts hang and act all nonchalant. Leaving smart remarks, I acting real dumb when my ass caught up. Nigga, please, you can be down on your knees in a bed of sunflowers and an iced out ring. Alex and any gifts, salt and vinegar chips. All of my favorite shit and I'ma still fucking dip. I'm so sick of your shit, good dictatorship. But I never let another nigga try to rule this. Act so clueless when they mention your name. Lose some, win some, it's a part of the game.
Got to cover it up. You like to play your own game.
Welcome to another episode of Artist to Artist at the AV Club. It's your boy West Side, and I'm here with a special guest today.
Tierra Traniece.
We've been having a great conversation.
Yes.
I'm awarding you the best pre-convo A2A. I got to, and I'm gonna start it off with the shot.
Let's take a
Let's
shot.
go ahead and
Come
get
on, let's
this
go.
started. Woo. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I feel great.
That's good. That's good. Definitely, I got to start every episode like this. This is a perfect way to start it off.
Yes.
So I always start off the show with asking this question: where does music start for you? And when I ask that, I mean like, where did who was the person that you would give credit to as far as like putting music into your life? You know, as far as like the early stages of you listening to music.
So I would say two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy because like one is on my dad's side and one is my mom's side. One is my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom used to have a Mitsubishi Mirage. It was teal.
Okay.
It's a Mitsubishi Mirage.
Shout
And my
out to
mom used to ride around with like these big, thick city books because this is way before Bluetooth and aux cords and all that.
Yeah.
She had like the Trinas and the Queen Pens and the Monifas and the Kelly Price and
Yeah.
all that was in a CD book. And this is how I used to learn lyrics before we had A to Z lyrics, before we had Genius.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and we used to ride around and listen to music. We'd be listening to Kelly Price as we lay at 12 o'clock, and then by 2 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know who you gonna get. You don't know if you finna get you don't know if you finna get Queen Pen. You don't know if you gonna get Monifa. You don't know if you gonna get Kelly Price. You don't know who you gonna get.
Yeah.
And then my uncle, so my uncle was really big on battle rap.
Oh.
So which is
snap. Okay.
it's just like I watch battle rap. And my uncle Terrell, he's so big on battle rap. And
Shout out to Ray.
yes.
Shout out to him.
My uncle was really big on battle rap. So when I wasn't with my mom and I went to my dad's side of the family, my dad was very absent, but his siblings, they were amazing at keeping up the slack. And I was with my uncle, and he always listened to Fabulous. Like Fabulous was like his guy.
L-O-U-S.
Yes. So that was his guy, and I used to listen to battle rap with my uncle, and then like I knew Fabulous was like his guy.
Yeah.
So if I had to credit music to anybody, it had to be my Uncle Terrell, and it had to be my mom, because those were the two people that I can remember when it came out to music. That's all I ever heard was music around. Because them are two people that don't talk a lot. So it makes sense that all I ever heard was music around them, because whatever they were feeling at that moment, that's what it was. Like, that,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
them my two people.
Shout
And my
out to
uncle,
them.
that's my Virgo man.
Oh,
That's
shout
my
out to
Virgo
them.
man. That's my Virgo man. September 4th is his birthday.
September 1st. Oh, so he right there. I'm
He right
first,
there.
so we
He
right
the
there.
fourth.
We right there.
That's my guy.
Okay.
That's my guy. That's my for music, for wrestling. I watched wrestling growing up.
Oh, you had a great childhood.
I had a great childhood.
You had a great childhood.
Yes.
Well-rounded.
Chris
Yeah.
Jericho and
Yeah.
not even John Cena. John Cena was later on down the line,
Yeah.
but Chris Jericho
Edge.
and
all them, Jeff
Edge,
Hardy.
Rey Mysterio,
Yeah.
Eddie
That was one of my
Guerrero,
favorites, Eddie. R.I.P. Eddie.
yeah, Booker T
Yeah.
and Chris Benoit
Chris Benoit.
and
That's a legend.
X Pac.
Yeah.
All those listen, I thought I was gonna be Trish Stratus when I grew up. Okay,
Hey, she was Kim Kardashian before Kardashian.
that was a kid, and that was Natural Body.
Yeah, it was.
Boy,
It was.
we went to Monday Night Raw one time. My mom
Mhm.
took us during Christmas Eve,
Oh, that's lit.
and we went to this when it was still a AAA
Mhm.
American Airlines Arena,
Yeah.
and they had a eggnog fight in like a kiddie pool.
For real?
Yes, and that's when China was still living.
Mm-hmm.
At China, you had Trish Stratus.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lita, shout out to
you had
them.
Lita.
Yeah.
You had Stephanie McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
You had all those people that just was just like. I
Yeah.
love wrestling. The Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys is my
Yeah, the
favorite.
Hardy Boys.
Yeah, that was
You had
my
the Hardy
favorite right
Boys.
there.
I love the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
I love the Hardy Boys. I grew up on that stuff. So,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that I think people don't really know about me. Like people just
Mhm.
have a certain type of reputation, and like people don't really get to dig deep into me because
Yeah.
I don't let people see me. But
Mhm.
I love wrestling though.
That was my shit. I was.
Kane, Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like I was Undertaker because I could roll my eyes real good.
Yeah. Oh, you was able to do that.
Yeah, and my brother was Kane.
Yeah.
So one year, my family, because like for a certain time, you could beat your brother up. Like I could beat my brother up.
Back then,
But then when
you
my
could-
brother started, when you started getting the testosterone and all that
Mhm.
stuff, like bitch, wait a minute. Right. So one year it kicked in, and I couldn't beat him up no more.
Yeah.
And they bought him a Kane punching bag. It was a WWE.
Oh, so he was in there working.
He was in a,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even that big for real. And that was the year that I was like, okay, I can't play with this nigga no more.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna hit him no more. Like,
Shout out to all the babies from the 90s, WWF, transition to
I had an
WWE
easy
era.
bake oven and I had a Kane punching bag. It was like balance.
See, I'll be, and don't take it offensive, but I feel like personally that era was the best
It was
era,
the best era.
childhood wise, growing up. You had the
Yeah.
best of both worlds,
Yeah.
and then by the time you was old enough, social media started. So
Yeah.
you kind of got early
got to
stages
grow
of
with it.
early. Yeah, you got
know
to
what
see
dial
it.
up. So you know the ee.
Yeah,
you know what
knew.
that sound like.
Like if you was on the internet, nobody could call the phone. Like that's
Yeah.
different.
You knew
know
that.
what I'm
You
saying?
knew about dial up.
Yeah.
You knew how it fit. And I feel like if a lot of us knew how important coding would it be, because like I was a MySpace queen. So I knew all the HTML codes. I knew
Mhm.
all that. But if I knew that was going to make me $100,000 a year.
And it's crazy because we ain't even know. We were just trying to, like fly
I was
out
just
our
trying to, I was
pages.
just trying to make my nigga name
Yeah.
fall from my page.
Yeah, we
That's all.
coding and doing all, they don't understand.
That's all I was trying
it was
to do.
different back then.
Yeah,
you
that's
had
all I
to
was trying to do.
go to that website, put the code in, put the image in, and they
Mhm.
generated code, and you had to go put
That's
it
all.
perfectly in the lineup of your page so that it just showed. Oh
And I
my
had it
God.
all figured. Like everybody used to come to me. Like when summertime came,
Yeah.
I always have like Will Smith summertime. But you had like a background, it'd be like a crib back there, it'd be
Yeah.
like a little popcorn. Like it was, I had it made. Like I knew how to do that type of stuff. Like to this day,
Mhm.
like even my graphics. Like when I really want to release a song so bad and I don't want to wait on nobody, I just make my own cover art.
So you make your own cover art.
Yeah, I make my own cover art when they get down to that point. Ari last cover art fell out. I made that cover art for Ari. Cause that was my friend, and I know how it feels to like just be an artist and just be so adamant about wanting something out at the same time. So even when Ari come like ask me if I could do something, even if I don't know how to do it, like I ain't gonna lie, like I fuck with Ari. So
Yeah.
I won't tell Ari at that minute that I don't know how to do it. I
Mhm.
just be like, yeah, girl, I could do it. And I figure out how to do it right then and there because I just know how I feel. Like any given time when somebody say they can't do it for you or something just gets delayed, you feel discouraged. But cover art, I do all my own cover art. Only cover art I think I probably never done was Fool Me Once.
That's the only one.
Yeah. And then Bossed Up, I got Bossed Up with Talia. I didn't do that one.
Shout out to Talia.
Yes.
Shout out to Ari too. Shout out to both of them. I have both of
They're
them
my
on the show.
girls. They're my girls. They can sing. Like,
Love them. They have
I
great,
wish I knew
amazing
how to
voices.
sing. I can't sing. I wish I could. But
You ain't never tried? You ain't never...
I did try me when I'm in the shower and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is that you singing on that Doogie record?
Fooling around. No.
Fooling around?
That's his cousin.
Oh, okay. Because when I heard it,
his,
I was like, I ain't look at the description, but I knew you was on the record, and I heard it. I was like, wait, is that her singing?
I cannot remember her name. What is his cousin's name?
Well, shout out to her, because when
yeah,
I heard
she
her
sings
singing on that
very
record,
great. Lex. Forever Lex. Forever Lex is,
okay.
That's his cousin. That's who's singing on Fooling Around.
Yeah.
That's Lex. Lex has a great voice.
Yeah, shout out to Lex.
Yeah, that's
shout
not me. That's Lex, for sure.
So when I heard it, because I was like, damn, this record is so fire. Because this is around the time when I'm digging through Doogie archive and listening to his music and stuff. And I got put on to him through D-Web. Shout out to D-Web. That's another artist I had on here.
I love D-Web.
Yeah, that's my dog. We go back from like middle school days.
Oh.
We go way, way back. But he put me on to Doogie. And when I heard the song, and I'm like, oh, you got a song with Tierra Traniece? I've been on you. I've been on you since, I want to say like 2019, around that time. This was a shout out to y'all if y'all went to Cafe Iguanas and y'all was in a karaoke
Oh, I
Tuesday.
did spoken word. Yeah. I did spoken word. So the funny part about Doogie is I didn't know that I knew Doogie. So when I first had to do a feature with Doogie, Doogie around the time before I was, like I said, I was a poet. So I had a poetry slam, which was my second poetry slam. And the DJ bailed out on me. And so somebody recommended a DJ. And at that time, they recommended Doogie. And Doogie DJ for my poetry slam that year. And I didn't know that it was Doogie. I had no idea, like, nothing about nothing. I just know that somebody showed up for me. Yeah. And that's what it was or whatever. And so when it came down to for me doing, like, features or whatever, and Doogie asked me for a feature, that's the first thing that like came to mind. And Doogie reminded me of it, like not reminded me of like, oh, I did something for you, but just like, oh, you remember when? Yeah. Da, 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 da. And so his feature price wasn't like how everybody else was at the peak of me coming out. My feature prices was crazy. And so when I met Doogie, and then Doogie was asking for a feature, it just was like, okay, you know what? You did something for me that was just like so, that meant something so much to me. And then because of how Doogie went about the situation, Doogie didn't negotiate with my price. He didn't like say, oh, I didn't know you charged it. Doogie said like, oh, I'm going to just come back when I got it. And when Doogie came back with it plus more. And Doogie was like, okay, this we finna do. Yeah. And then we shot the video. And I always tell people like, Doogie is one of my favorite artists. And Doogie is also one of my favorite people to ever work with. Like I will work with Doogie. I'll work with Doogie for $0 because that's how Doogie treated me when Doogie like it came around. Like Doogie treated me with such respect and such like, you know, it was so many like morals and like values and like it was nothing. It was no politics and like Doogie was just like, I just want to make a song. I just want the song to be good. Yeah, I don't care what I gotta do to do it. Like let's just do it. And so like for that, I feel like I'm forever indebted to Doogie because Doogie is a great person. I met a lot of messed up people in this industry, but he's not one of them. So it's like, like shout out to Doogie. Like Doogie can call me right now and say, oh, since I need a feature. Yeah. And I won't charge Doogie for no feature because like I fuck with Doogie. Yeah. Shout out to Doogie.
He a real one. When I met him, he was one of the ones that like organically, like off the rip, just talking to him naturally. I was like, yo, I like this dude. You know what I mean? And, you know, if you're a person that is able to judge people and know, like, who the ones that you should have in your corner and not have in your corner, you meet Doogie, you know, like, nah, he's solid. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, as far as, like, your process of starting and beginning to create music, right? What was that process for you? Like, did you always know you wanted to be an artist, or was it something that at some point you figured out you wanted to do music?
So I absolutely never wanted to be a rapper. And I think that upset a lot of people here in Miami because there was so many men that had been rapping for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah. And I just came like on a strike, like beginner's luck. Like just boom, my first out the gate.
Knocked it out the park.
Ooh, here you go. So I tell people all the time, like, my smoke never came from women. Women always got along with me. I had smoke from niggas. And niggas was giving me a hard time. Like, niggas was just like being overly, I don't even say mean, because like a lot of people will tell you that they'll meet me, they be like, oh, that's a mean bitch. So for me to tell you that you mean, you mean.
Yeah.
But it just was like, I got a lot of smoke from men, and I never wanted to be a rapper. But something happened so significant in my life that it was like, okay, I can't do a poem because like I don't even know how many people listen to poems.
Yeah.
And then at the time, my cousin, the pyramids,
Shout out to Pyramid.
kept telling me I'm a rapper. He kept saying, you're a rapper. And I kept saying, like, this nigga is crazy. Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
You know, and then I met Ripper, and I did a challenge for Ripper. It was a Lauryn Hill sample. And I did it, and I ended up winning the challenge. And then Ripper did Fool Me Once. I had never met Ripper prior to that. So I didn't meet Ripper until Fool Me Once had gained a whole lot of like notoriety after that. I never met Ripper before that.
Yeah.
And Ripper gave me Fool Me Once, and something transpired in my life. And I called Ripper, I said, Ripper, like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I feel like a nigga tried me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to explain to you like a nigga tried me. Like, I don't know. It feels like, you know how I feel when a nigga try you. Like, that's just it. Like, that's Ripper gave me that. I wrote Fool Me Once in 30 minutes. And it became a thing. And I had no idea that song was gonna do what it do. Like, you know how some people like beat on their chest and be like, oh yeah, I knew that song was gonna do that. I'm one of them people that like I've struggled with a lot of like not knowing who I am for real. So like I had no idea that song was gonna do that because I didn't really know who I was before that. Yeah. So when Fool Me Once took off in a way that it just was like, girl, if you ain't have no other confirmation that you are God's favorite and you have a talent and you are somebody, this is it. Fool Me Once racked up 23,000 streams in its first week. That's as an independent artist that's from Miami. You want to say you local? Cool, no problem. But like, that was 23,000 streams. I don't know, 23,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? And then it just took off from there. Everybody, like anybody who was anybody. And then you got major celebrities who, like, when they get political, they wasn't tagging me.
Yeah.
They wasn't saying, like, oh yeah, I'm listening to this song. They were just putting on their story. Just this song. They wasn't tagging me.
Yeah.
And that's the problem that we have here in Miami. It's just like, you know who that song made by. You know who it is. So what's the disservice that it is to you to tag them? And let the rest of the world know, like, because your fans, they know that song too.
Yeah. So
why you don't tag the person who made that song? Like, why you don't let them people get that person and meet you? And so for me, how you could always tell I 100% didn't know that song was going to be that big is because the cover art. The cover art is a pink flower, like black and gold and all that. I ain't put myself on that cover.
Yeah.
That's a rookie mistake. And I would tell any artist
so they know
first
your face.
Coming out, don't ever put something else that's not you on your cover. That's it. Because a lot of people know Fool Me Once. A lot of people don't know Tierra Traniece. I done been in bars. I done been at places, clubs, concerts, and singing the Fool Me Once word for word with people.
Yeah. And they don't even know you right.
They think I'm just a regular bitch that like this song like them. I'm like, oh, girl, I ain't gonna lie to you, girl. I love this song now. But I'm gonna tell you why I love this song.
Because of my song.
I wrote it.
Yeah.
He like, oh, I know this song. I know this song better than you.
You think so? Put some money on it.
Bet it right now, girl.
Yeah.
Money line it.
Yeah.
Money line it. Money line it.
Yeah.
Just money line it. So I was just like, take the over.
Yeah.
You probably should take the under. But I know this song because I wrote this song, but they don't know that. And so like I'm singing it with them and I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, girl, I wrote this song. And like, bitch, you lying. And so like that's just,
Yeah. So would you say that's one of them things that you would change if you could go back and
if I could go back, the one thing that I would change is just not being on my cover because I feel like I missed so much publicity and I missed so much like exposure. But I ain't gonna lie, like I was just telling you, like, talking to you earlier today about church,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, in certain places that you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be, and you're not supposed to be there, you ain't supposed to be there. And I feel like my time just didn't happen because it just didn't happen. Not because I didn't put myself on the cover, or not because I wasn't like adamant about who I was, but just because I had a lot of people around me at the time that wasn't supposed to go with me. Everybody can't go with you.
Yeah.
Everybody that can't go with you, like, when it comes to Jesus, when you talk about Jesus and stuff, like Judah was right there.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, right next to him.
Right next to him.
Yeah. He couldn't tell.
He's saying, like, I done had a Judah.
Mm-hmm.
I done been in there, like, rooting me on.
Yeah.
Doing my hair. Helping with my makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, and then you gotta realize, like, you got people in your life who want your life.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want your life. So you gotta always be appreciative of your life, because there's always somebody who wants it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just like, Fool Me Once just happened. I love it. It's great. But I'm so excited to see what else could transpire.
Yeah.
Or what else could happen, because it's like, I'm so much more into Fool Me Once. Well, you got a Fool Me Once part 2 about to come out.
I got a question, right? And maybe you got the answer, maybe you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you can just say you don't got the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this performance. It's called the Never Give Up Tour, right? And I seen a lot of performances. I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
Only weird thing is they was checking people at the door like crazy. Somebody asked to see the inside of my pockets. I was like, wait, what? So it was that bad as far as like checking people. But I understood, you know, they look at the demographic. They said something could go down.
Mm-hmm.
The lineup of artists, they like, nah, we checking tooth and nail, everything, right? And when I watched the performance, I had a great time. I enjoyed all the acts. But one thing I noticed that some of the songs that they performed, another person on the lineup would be on the song, but they wouldn't come out and they wouldn't perform it. So I was trying to figure out, like, is that a thing? Because I feel like when it comes to that Atlanta wave that we watched, you know, growing up, and we saw that the Thugs, the Rich Homie Quans, the Roccos, the all that, the Futures, all that, they did a lot of collaboration and did songs together and worked together. And in those songs that they performed, you know, I'm like, oh, I love this song. And they performed it, I noticed that the other artists wouldn't come out.
Another Miami artist.
Yeah, it'd be, and they on the same lineup. So I was trying to figure out, like, why is that a thing? Like, is that something that plagues as far as Miami when it comes to like the music scene? Because it's a big scene. Yeah. There's a lot of acts. There's a lot of history behind Miami music. You know what I mean? So I'm like, why is it that we don't see more of it? You know what I'm saying? As far as like the collaboration.
So the problem is with Miami music is like everybody keep trying to figure out what the problem is, and everybody know what the problem is. And sometimes the problem is asking what's the problem. And so what it is with Miami, and honestly, I feel like I bit my tongue long enough. I really tried, because when I first got out, I first came out. When Fool Me Once first came out, the only person that embraced me when that song, as big as that song was, the only person that embraced me when that song first came out was Trick Daddy.
Shout out
That's
Trick.
it. Like Trick would call me, and Trick would be like, "Oh, I don't care if I gotta go to the clubs and tell the DJ, like, I punch the DJ in the mouth. So he gotta play the song." And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I don't think you should punch the DJ in the mouth." But that's how serious he was about that song, because that song was so good. And like, what you gotta understand is about Fool Me Once is, at that time, Fool Me Once came out around the time where city girls were like at their peak. So everything was like city girl. And you got somebody up here saying, "Oh, we love niggas." So you got a whole demographic of women that's up here like whatever. And we love the city girls, because the city girls went to Atlanta and they went and got a bag, and they brought it back home, because the only and the crazy part about it is they had to go somewhere else, because here they wasn't gonna get it. But we got people here that can give it to them. And so when it comes down, when you see tours and concerts and stuff like that, it's just like, I never want to get to a point where I'm like a legend and I'm so like deep in my craft, and it's notoriety and it's things of that sort, and I don't know how to pass the torch, or I don't know how to like let it go, or I don't know how to like be like, you know what, I done did it long enough. You want to always retire at the top. You never want to retire at the point where you like, now you back and you battling for your
trying to fight.
No, you don't do that because it ain't so many like Drake and Kendrick you gonna get. Like Kendrick is fighting. Kendrick is doing a great job. Like I love Kendrick. I'm a Drake. I love Drake. Mm-hmm. But Drake, the thing about Drake is gonna bounce back. Yeah. Drake is gonna bounce back regardless, like because Drake is Drake. Mm-hmm. But Kendrick, I love as an artist, from an artist standpoint, I love that Kendrick is having his moment because Kendrick is a dope ass artist, a dope ass lyricist, and he's everything that hip hop is. Like when you think about hip hop, that's Kendrick.
He the embodiment.
No, that's Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Like so when he took it personal, when like he felt like Tupac was being made of a mockery because Tupac is a Gemini. Mm-hmm. Kendrick is a Gemini. Yeah. Kanye is a Gemini. Mm-hmm. Andre 3000. Gemini, yeah. Them are all lyricists. You only get lyricists from Geminis because we are such deep level thinking people. Mm-hmm. So like when it came to Kendrick, like it's like I get it. And me being such a Drake fan and hearing like they don't like us, mm-hmm. I be like, I'll be so upset with myself sometimes that I even just be like, my shoulders be like, because sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Yeah.
Certified boogeyman.
I'm the one that up the skull with them. Yeah. I up the skull. Yeah. I fucking up the skull with a lot of people. Yeah. When Kendrick get on that song, he be like, what? Yeah. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I hate it. But you can't hate something. You can't be biased when it comes to like, when you talk about hip hop, Kendrick is hip hop. Yeah. Kendrick is like, I love that he had that moment for himself because he did. Otherwise, before he had to get to the nitty gritty to get to this. Like whatever he had to do, whatever. People understand. Like Drake was in the same hotel as Meek at one point.
Oh yeah,
on the top of him, going to playing back to back while that nigga was trying to go to sleep. Every dog has his day. Yeah. Every dog has his day, and like what I know about Drake though is Drake is. This is not the end of Drake. It's not the end of Drake, but it's just it's just a recognition or like a reminder. Yeah. That you'll never count nobody out.
Yeah, anybody could get.
And when you at the top, you gotta know. You gotta know. Drake been running it for a long time. Drake got it on his own lyric, like, and that was I think that was on 0 to 100. Yeah. And he was like, you know that if you wasn't you, I would be dissing you. Mm-hmm. If you weren't you, if you was not you, nigga, like what would you be doing? For real. What would you be doing? Yeah. What you be doing? You. So it's like, that's what comes with it. When it comes to Miami, like I tell people all the time, when I first came out, I had no problems with women. Yeah. Women was like, oh, bitch. Because the average woman is not a city girl. Yeah. Average woman is not a city girl. Like, we love the city girls because city girls didn't come in and was like, they wasn't selling prostitution. They wasn't selling that. City girls came in and they was telling y'all, like, make these niggas pay for whatever it is that they want. Like, not just, like, pussy, but, like, time. Like, yeah, if a nigga want to do this, make him do this. Like, that's what city girls made a lot of women find their worth. And that's what it is. Whatever. But then it's like, Fool Me Once came out and Fool Me Once was like, oh shit, fuck these niggas. I love these niggas. Yeah. I said fuck these niggas, but not my nigga. Like that's what it was. And so I've come into a lot of like in interactions or encounters where like you think your greats are supposed to embrace you and they just don't. Yeah. You know, it's like back to Drake and it's like, you know, you make friends with Jay, but got an AI for your survival. It's like you look up to these people, and you think these people are not looking at you. These people are not paying no attention to you. People, you are on these people's radar. It don't matter how low you are, how high they are. It's like that's what it is. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I said, like Trick was the only person who I first came out with, and they embraced Fool Me Once. Yeah, they embraced that, and that's just what it was, and that's just what it is. And you have a Never Give Up tour, and there was no woman on that lineup. It's straight men. That's true. That's straight true. Men. Yeah, it's straight men. And again, back to what I said, it's like I didn't have no smoke with women when I first came out. Yeah, niggas that I had smoke with And I just threw a concert in March. My concert was packed out. It was sold out. It was other artists on that stage that I feel like, oh yeah, you good. Like, you great. Yeah. No artist ever supposed to feel like nobody is better than them. I don't feel like nobody better than me. I don't feel like nobody rap better than me. But I had other artists there that I feel like supported me, that like their artistry was great. They work hard. That's what they do. It's just a hard time here with just like passing the torch. It's like a fake. It's not really a gatekeeping, because when it comes down to like Miami and their music industry, we're the easiest industry to infiltrate. Yeah. Hip hop in general was the easiest genre to infiltrate, because you can't just walk into a country genre and be like, oh yeah, nigga, I want. Like, they'll boo you, bitch. What you? How you do country? Let me hear you.
Yeah, we just watched Lil Nas X go through that when he came out and was trying to do country music, and they say you ain't getting no awards over
here.
For
hip hop, you just gotta say like, oh, you probably like, you gotta just sound like real ethnic. Yeah. And that's just what it is. But like, I love my Grace, because like I say, like at first, like, when I first came out, Trick Daddy embraced me. Later on down the line, when it came down to it, I've had certain encounters with Trina, and I've had opportunities that Trina has presented me with, and that's just what it is. But I feel like I know what it feels like in this specific setting, where I've done certain things in Miami where I'm looking at myself and my song and my success, and I kind of like, it kind of makes me like reel it back, like, damn, how do people who don't have as much success or smaller artists feel, because I've done something as small as like karaoke in the Gardens at Miami Gardens. They cut my mic off in the middle of me.
Wait, they cut your mic off?
They cut my mic off in the middle of me performing. They cut my mic off. And that was the only song, aside from Ball Greasy, that they knew, that crowd knew. Yeah. They knew that song. They cut my mic off in the middle of me performing. So, okay, yeah, thank you. Hey, okay, wrap it up. And so the karaoke in the Gardens was for me to win a slot to perform at Jazz in the Gardens. Yeah. I didn't win that slot.
Because they cut it.
Not because they cut it, because they already knew who they wanted to win anyway. So it wasn't even me. It was somebody else. But that song is so big, and it's like I never let nobody dictate what I'm doing or where I'm going or whatever the case may be, because it is what it is. But Trick has embraced me. Trina didn't embrace me at first, but Trina did embrace me. Like, it's so many opportunities that has come. I just did Glitz and Girl Power with Trina for her hip hop set, and it just takes with women. It takes time because we go through a lot of stuff. Especially with women. Like, men, our friendships are different, and like that kind of dictates how you approach every other situation or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But when I first came out, I just like, I don't really care. Like, oh, you rap? Okay, girl, like, here you go. Yeah. Or you do this. Like, that's how I got friends with, I'm friends with singers, I'm friends with rappers. Like, Zoe Brings and Chrissy Celeste and Meek Gucci and V Stuck. Like, No Duets and Nisha Scott and Tootie. It's so many women here aside from me that rap so good. Yeah. That it's like, what's the problem? The problem is not the talent. Problem is not the talent. It's just like, it's a club. It's a boys. If you never know nothing else, it's a boys club here. It's a huge boys club. So when you talk about UC and Never Give Up tour, it's a boys club. It's a boys club. Like, fuck me. Like, okay, you don't want Tierra Traniece. It's so many other women here that rap for real. Yeah. Why they not there? Why they not there? Why they not there? It's not me. Like, I don't give a fuck about, I care about me, but I don't really give a fuck about me for real, because it's just like, I met so many women that rap for real. Like, V Stuck been rapping before me. Been putting on, like, she done linked with Jim Jones and Briscoe, and like, yeah. What's the problem? Like, what's the issue? Like, why this person not further than what they supposed to be? What's the issue? What's the real issue?
You just shine light on something I didn't even really take in consideration, because sitting there during that tour and enjoying every single act, because these are some of the acts that I seen growing up as a child, you know, in different areas, and just watching the growth of the Miami scene or just South Florida in general in music. And you're right. I didn't see not one female artist up there.
Woman.
I didn't even think of it at that time to be like, wait, why ain't no females up there? You know, there is definitely a wave of female artists out here that are definitely talented. And I feel like, if anything, when I seen the City Girls, and this is me being open about how I felt looking at that wave, right? When I originally seen it, when I saw the City Girls, I was like, I don't think it's going to last, right? I'm like, female rapper, you know, talking about tricking and this, that, and the third. I'm like, I haven't seen it before for me to understand that there's a market for that. So I'm like, I don't think so. And then they gained more success and got bigger. And then even now, as you were talking, I'm looking at some of the things that has happened over the years. And I'm like, well, you could kind of give credit to that. Sure. You know, even like saying like the podcast scene where they're talking about relationships, right? And, 50-50 and this, that, and the third. That is the underlying growth from that is like, you could say the City Girls talking about, yo, make that man pay, make him do this, that, and the third. Open up the door for where there's a conversation for men to say, oh, well, this is how we feel, because that exists. You know what I mean? And even saying in the sense of more of the wave of more female artists, rappers that we're seeing now, the metrics has changed. We are seeing more female artists that are out now compared to before. You know what I mean? Before it was like 2, 3 maybe to the most that we'll see on the mainstream or on the higher level. And now you're seeing more and more artists, female artists getting put up there, especially from out here also. Miami
has always had it though, like even before, like you had Brianna Perry.
Shout out
like
to
Brianna Perry been doing, like Brianna Perry is like, she's such a beautiful woman. Like she's always carried herself with such grace. With such class, with such elegance. Like you never heard nothing crazy about her. She got degrees. A lyricist, like was rapping for real. It's like, why it ain't work? Why it ain't work? Brianna's married. She got 2 beautiful sons. And it's like, now it's like, you look at her like, I don't blame you if you never want to come back to this, because like, what's in this for you? Because you done gave this so much and you have got nothing back from this. Brianna Perry is such a beautiful woman. And it's just like, to watch a woman like that not rap no more, it's like, well, what the fuck do y'all even really want for real from rap for real? Because that was a rapper. That was a rapper. When you got a V Stuck, been rapping 10 plus years, been doing it. Never gave y'all no scandals, never gave y'all nothing crazy, just gave y'all straight rap. Gave y'all this. What y'all want? What y'all want? What y'all want? What y'all want? Like, so what else y'all want?
I got a question to ask you now. Now, because I can agree with you, but I also got to stand on the other side and look at it from a different perspective,
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm going to bring it to, like, for example, like the WNBA, right?
Okay.
So a lot of women say, well, we should get paid more, we should get this, we should get that. Rightfully so, because I think when I look at what a WNBA star can do, it's more than what an average person can do on a regular basketball court. So they obviously have talent and a skill set that is valuable to reach the levels of an NBA and what they're making, right? But it always comes down to support, right? So some people will say, okay, well, you know, this is the reason why men doesn't support the WNBA, whatever, so forth, right? So it comes down to, well, why don't all women support the WNBA? Because if they all support it, then they should be making relatively more than what they're making currently if they're getting the women back in, right? So I would ask, do you feel like there's enough women support when it comes to women rap?
When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, women, no matter how much you try to like chalk it up, women still run on a very patriarchy scale, right? Like everything that women do, it's always surrounded by what a man thinks, what this is or whatever. It's always, everything is deeply rooted in misogyny.
Okay.
Right. And I've always felt like WNBA was great. Like I grew up, like I said before, like I grew up in a very privileged childhood. Like I was going to basketball games when we had Miami Soul. We had Miami Soul. We had a WNBA team. We had Miami Soul, and it just was like, okay, it's not enough support. Women are very tricky because sometimes you have a great vast of women that support other women just because you're a woman. Like, I fuck with you because you're a woman. But a lot of that comes down to like how you grew up.
Yeah.
Right? Because I go in public all the time. I could be at a grocery store. I could see a beautiful woman. It's not even like I'm attracted to her or nothing. It's like, girl, you look good as fuck. Your hair look good.
Yeah.
And she like, oh my God, like, thank you. Like, it's like, you could tell when a woman is not used to hearing that. But I'm so secure in myself, like, I know I look good. Anytime I go out, anytime I go anywhere, I know I look good. Because before I step out of the house, I make sure so.
Yeah.
So when I go out and I see another woman, I could look on a woman's face to be like, I know she ain't been complimented all day. I know she hasn't. I just know. So it's like, oh girl, you look good. You look so good. Like, your skin's so good. Your skin is so smooth. Like what is it? She's like, oh my God, thank you. That cost me nothing.
Yeah.
But that could have made her whole fucking week.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably the only person the whole week that complimented her. Women get tricky when men come into the equation. So yes, WNBA, a lot of women. Men are still in the middle of it. So WNBA probably would have never made as much money as it would have made, I feel like, because of Angel Reese. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark,
I'm
not saying that Caitlin Clark is not a good basketball player. Like, I feel like she was a phenomenal basketball player, but what you ought to know is about the culture.
Yeah.
You didn't bring the culture. Caitlin Clark didn't bring the culture. Angel Reese bought that spunk. She bought that, like, yeah, bitch, I'm me, I'm her. Like, y'all finna watch this shit because of me. And that's just like, okay, like, bitch, I wasn't even watching WNBA. I don't watch basketball in general because it moves too fast for me.
Yeah.
I love football. I've been a cheerleader my whole life. I watch football. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. Like, that's what I do.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to them.
But Angel Reese got that thing about her. It's like, y'all gonna watch me. You might not like me, but you gonna watch me. It's always been her. And so, like, she made the WNBA. She shifted that whole whatever. Because nobody wasn't really paying attention to the WNBA like that, for real. Now men is back watching it. They back betting on it.
Supporting
they back doing all that.
Yeah. Pulling up to the games.
Yes. And so it's like, that's where it gets weird. Because now women are not supporting it because it's Angel Reese. Women are supporting it because now this is something else that the niggas that they interested in is interested in. And with women, I don't know how to explain it, but that's just what society has made it. The average woman, I feel like now in this day and age, don't have their own mind. So it's like, okay, this is what you're doing. I want to do that too. Like, I can't wait till Beyonce put up to a motherfucking WNBA game. I can't wait.
I ain't gonna lie,
it's going to shift
break
it.
the internet.
It's going to shift it because, and she's going to pull up for that Angel Reese or Aja Wilson or whoever that is. Like, she's going to pull up for them, and that's what's going to bring that value up. But it's just like, in this culture, it takes for one person of status to bring it to that.
Yeah.
Like, and with women, it's hard because women, I won't say that women don't support women because we really do, but it's just like a lot of women have also been in very bad situations with women. Like, I feel like the reason why men friendships last a little bit longer than women is because women hold other women accountable. Men don't. I don't feel like men hold other men accountable. I feel like y'all kind of like, oh, that's been my dog since kindergarten, and you just brush it off your shoulder, like, but you feel a way about it. Women fall out with women a whole lot more because it's like, bitch, you supposed to be my dog.
Yeah.
Like, why you did it? Men don't do that. Like, men don't, like, pedophiles, abusers, deadbeats have the most friends I've ever seen in my life. And it's because,
for real?
Yes, because men don't be like, oh, you don't take care of your kid, I don't want to be friends with you no more.
Nah, yeah, I give you that. Yeah, we ain't cutting somebody off. I can't just speak on just myself, but I'm saying I haven't seen that. Like, a guy say, yeah, that was my dog, but he stopped taking care of his kids, so I stopped being his friend.
They would never do that. They don't do that.
Yeah.
But there's no way.
But pedophile, we ain't going for that. We ain't going for that.
In retrospect.
Yeah.
In retrospect, but it ain't a bitch that can come around me right now and say, she ain't fed her kids in 2 days. Like, I would not, bitch, I would never be friends with you. You can't tell me like, oh, I just left my kids with his daddy and I ain't seen them in 3 days. I'm the only friend right now that don't got kids. I'm the only friend.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I wouldn't be around nobody who don't take care of their kids, because like kids don't ask to be here.
Mhm.
And I watch my friends stand 10 toes in the paint. Like I watch them, like I got friends that's married. I got friends that's engaged. I got single mom friends.
Mhm.
So I got every perspective on it. And I'm telling you, like, men don't hold other men to the same accountability that women hold their friends to. Like, bitch, I would not be partying out with you, bitch. I ain't taking you around no ballers, bitch. Ho, you don't do what you supposed to do. You think you think you need a rich nigga?
Yeah.
Bitch, no, you don't do what you supposed to do. Like, I'm like.
So I'll give you an example off of my friendships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, as far as the taking care of their kids, I never get it in that retrospect of I ain't taking care of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear she doing this, she doing that. We ain't seeing eye to eye, but relatively the ones that I'm cool with, they do that. They be there for their kids, and if they can't, it's because it's that friction in between or whatever. But I do agree that I've never came across anybody that's cut somebody off the perspective of, bro, I ain't taking care of his kids, so we can't be cool. Like that's a little different. And you saying it, I ain't even think of it that way. Like,
why would you want to be friends with somebody like that?
Yeah.
If a child out here wanting their daddy and your daddy out here like, oh yeah, we finna buy another bottle in the club. Like, no nigga, buy the bottles for your child.
Yeah.
And those are way cheaper.
Yeah.
Those are way cheaper.
That's facts. That's facts. So I want to go back to you started off in poetry.
Yes.
So that's where I started off too. I started off in poetry. It was an assignment for school. Shout out to D Webb. He was in that same class. Teacher gave us the assignment, write a poem. I wrote a poem. At that time, it's just for school. They liked it. But in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I just did this for school. So further going into like later years, I started to learn that I was actually good at it. So like, how did you get into poetry?
I just got into poetry because it was just another way to express myself. Like, I've been reading and writing since I was 4 years old. Like, all of my aunts are teachers. Like, a lot of people don't know that I'm ambidextrous. So I write with both of my hands. And I was born left-handed, but my aunts were teachers, so they forced me to write with my right hand. And it's just always been a thing. Like, I always had something to talk about. I always been making, like, poems. And I started doing poetry, I would say officially, I don't know, probably like 2000 and, I want to say 15. But that's just what it was. Like, I started doing poetry, and it was good. It was like, okay, I'm going to memorize it. I'm going to recite it to everybody. I'm going to do it on Facebook. This is what I'm going to do. And that's just what it's always been. And then it just transpired into rap.
Yeah.
And that's just what it was. But I love poetry because poetry is like, you can't be critiqued with poetry. Like, I can't come and critique your poetry. Like, I can't tell you like, oh, you supposed to say it like this.
Yeah.
Or you supposed to say it like that. With rap, it's like, oh, you should do it like that.
Yeah.
You should.
Should have delivered it or cadence or tone.
You can't do that with poetry. So I always love poetry for that reason. And that's always what it's been. I've always been writing poetry. I never stopped doing poetry, but I will say, like, me being a rapper, it kind of made it hard for me to be a poet because you a little bit more critical when you rapping.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So I want to ask you I want to go into the creative process, right? So like, what's your process? Because I hear you do poetry. I know me, I still write to this day. I'm not big on freestyling because I overthink. I'm an overthinker. So when it comes to writing freestyling, I'm like, it don't sound good, so I ain't finna say it. So what's your process? Do you write? Or are you a freestyler? Like, what's your process of creating?
So I guess it kind of depends because if I'm with my engineer, I am getting into the point where I will write a little bit, and then sometimes I punch in and then I freestyle and I do things of that sort. But I remember at one point when I first started, I probably was the only person that was still writing like a notebook. I had a little notebook that I had got as a gift, and I was still writing in it. And I was writing on my Fool Me Once is written in a brown leather notebook that's on the outside of it say Trina Badu, and that was my alter ego because I felt like I was Trina and I felt like I was Erykah Badu, so I mixed it. I put Trina Badu. Yeah. And so I write a lot on my phone, but I also do like half and half. But honestly, I can't even tell you like it's a real process because there are times where I really want to go to the studio. And I just write and I be like, okay, like, let's go to the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes where it's just be like, okay, y'all want me to go to the studio? Okay, I'll go. And then I'll write when I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some days where I'm just way more inspired than any other day. And when I'm, those days that I'm really inspired,
Mm-hmm.
is when you get a Fool Me Once. Where you get like, I wrote Fool Me Once Part 2. Like, I gotta go now. Because if you niggas don't let me go in the studio right now, I don't know when I'm gonna record this again.
Yeah.
And I just do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't really no process. I write before I get there. Because I don't like sitting in the studio for a long time. I don't like just being in there. I feel like a lot of people probably feel like you waste studio time, but I've never paid for studio time since I've been out. Like, ever. Like, I probably paid for studio time probably like 3 times in the whole 5 years that I've been out.
So do you go to the same studio, or do you got
No.
the same team that you go to as far as making music?
I could just call anybody at any time, be like, I want to come to the studio, and then like they be like, okay, we good, you got this, whatever. And it's just like, I thank God for my talent, and I thank God for people just believing in me, and it's not nothing to be arrogant about. It's just that like people just believe in me to the point where it's like, don't worry about it right now. Like, we'll probably get it on the back end, or we'll probably just like, deal with it how we deal with it. But I've just always been blessed with people who believe in me. And so I can go to the studio whenever I want to. I can go to the studio at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just what it is. Like, I've never had a point where,
Fire.
yeah.
Fire. All right. So as far as like your studio setup, is it just you and the engineer, or do you have like a certain group of people that you like to have in there?
Most of the time, it's just me and my engineer, JP. Shout out JP.
Shout out JP.
That's my brother. That's my Virgo brother.
Shout out to the Virgos.
That's my Virgo. And we 2 totally different people. So he's more, sometimes I feel like he wants to tell me stuff a little bit more cutthroat, but he knows I'm a very emotional person. So he doesn't sock it to me like that in that sense. But he means well. He loves me. He protects. I know for a fact that he protects me when I'm not around. He speaks highly of me when I'm not around. And that's my guy. So it's always just me and JP. If it's not me and JP, sometimes it'll be my cousin, Pyramids. That's my producer. He comes in the studio, but I never roll in a pack of people to come in the studio with me because they not rapping. And I feel like when the more people you bring in, the more distractions you bring inside the studio. Yeah, I've never had more than 3-4 people in the studio with me, like, ever. I don't come with an entourage because I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I know when I go in there, I gotta go. I got a purpose, and that's just what it's gonna be. And yeah, like, I don't really like. It's times where I be like, I ain't gonna lie, like, if I already got a song like pre-written, I call my friends like, okay, no, y'all, bitch, pull up to the studio, cause like, bitch, I'm finna do it. Like, I'm finna go, cause I already got a sense of what's finna happen. I don't really need no direction. Like, bitch, I'm finna mutt this song. I know what's finna happen. But if I'm just like on some like creating, I don't bring a whole bunch of people in the studio with me. Okay, it's not necessary. I don't smoke. I don't do none of that. Like, I drink from time to time, but even like certain points where I come to a point where I was like, you know what, I don't need all the people in there with me. Yeah. But they know the song though. Soon as they get done and they get bounced out to me, they know it. I send it to them. Like, they don't gotta be there for that. Okay.
So I want to ask you, because I know you just started a podcast. I want to shine light on that. So tell me about the podcast that you just started.
So the podcast is with me and my dad, and it's called Growing Up Together. And basically the podcast, it delves into the dynamic of me and my dad. It's a duo, a daddy and daughter. And my dad has not always been present in my life. So my dad was a very absent dad. My dad came back when I was 17 years old, my senior year in high school. And I feel like since that day, he's never stopped trying to be a dad. But I feel like in his journey of trying to be a dad, he shows me how much even being a dad doesn't stop you from being a man. Yeah. And so it's a lot of conversations that we have where it just sounds very misogynistic at times, because it's like, nigga, even when you being a dad, it's like it don't stop you from being a man. Like, the man doesn't switch off. And so I just want everybody to kind of go through the journey with us. It's a very emotional journey. It's something that I'm going through in front of the cameras. He just always hasn't been there. But what I will say is from the moment that he came back, he never stopped trying. He never stopped trying, and that's the part that, like, if God can give you second chances, like I can give you a second chance. My dad never stopped trying to be a dad. He never stopped trying to, like, you know, show me who he was. And I'm the only child with my dad. So I just want other women to know that it's possible. Like, it's possible to regain a bond or, you know, reconnect with somebody who you thought was long gone. Or, you know, a lot of the times, like, as women, we kind of blame a lot of our things that we go through with men. We like to blame it on our fathers. And I just feel like, yeah, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as a woman, as a grown person, like, you got to take accountability. It's like, when that person out there doing whatever they do, they're not thinking about you. When they absent, they're not thinking about you. They thinking about themselves. They doing whatever they could do for themselves. So when you trying to heal, when you trying to move forward, like, think about yourself and just continue moving. But, like, don't more so focus on the time that y'all lost. Focus on the time that you guys have in front of y'all. And so that's why I want everybody to, like, deal with and, like, kind of focus on, like, me and my daddy, we bump heads so much because that's the parent that I'm most like. My daddy's, like, the most smartest man I've ever met in my life. But we bump heads a lot because, like, I'm smart too. I'm smart too. So I don't want it to be like, it's not a perfect dynamic. It's not a perfect duo. It's not like no, I don't know, like, this ain't no Andy Griffin show for real. Like, I'm telling y'all, like, this is some real, like, we done talked about some real hardcore things on this podcast when we started, and it's just like, I just want you to know, like, you ain't never gonna start off perfect.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to end perfect either, but it's just like, I love my daddy, and you only get one daddy, and the Bible tells you, like, you got to honor thy mother and thy father. Like, regardless of appearance, it don't say honor thy good mother, honor thy good father. It says honor thy mother and thy father. So regardless of appearance that you get, you have to honor them.
Yeah.
Honor them. Like, and your days here will be long. Like, regardless of how people treat you, regardless of who the person is, like, honor them. And that's something I said in the beginning of the podcast. Like, we like to attach our parents to titles. We don't attach our parents to the fact that you're just human beings. So, like, we attach the fact, like, okay, you a parent, you should already know this. Yeah. My daddy has never had a 31-year-old. I'm the only 31 he's ever had, and the only 31 he will ever have.
So he learning at the same time.
He learning, and that's why the podcast name is Growing Up Together. So we growing. We growing. My daddy turned 51 in November. I turned 31 in May. So my daddy was 20 when he had me, almost 19.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't know what to do. And we don't know what to do. And, like, yeah, a lot of your trauma probably came from them. A lot of your, like, triggers probably come from them. But you understand, it was not the parent. It was the person that was trying to be a parent. And that's who was raising you. So it's like,
that's facts.
It's like, it's cool. But I know my daddy gonna be a great granddaddy though.
Yeah.
He gonna be a kick ass guy, a kick ass granddaddy. Like,
Yeah.
I already know, cause he's a great granddaddy to my bonus sisters. Like, my stepsisters, Deja and Tierra, he loved their kids so much. Like, they could drop their kids off to him anytime, and my daddy gonna make sure they fed. He gonna make sure they learn something. I mean, they might be out there gardening and digging up shit, but they good. They
put them to work a little bit.
He gonna put them to work a little bit, but they good. Like, my daddy he's a good man. Like, I tell people all the time, like, my daddy he wasn't present, but he wasn't a bad daddy. He wasn't a bad daddy. You could be absent, and then the parent that's present could do far more damage than what you're doing when you're absent.
Yeah.
So just because the dad is absent and the mom is present doesn't mean that a mom is a better parent than a dad.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
It's
like, it's the person. So, like, he did a way better job being away from me. I feel like he was way more courageous staying away from me, knowing he wasn't okay, than coming around me acting like everything was okay and trying to dictate my life. Because I wouldn't be Tierra Traniece. You wouldn't be interested in podcasting or interviewing with me if my daddy was who he was and he was there in my life. I wouldn't be the same person.
It would have affected you in a different way, to which would have changed your trajectory.
A way different way.
Yeah.
Like, and we talk about that on the podcast. So, yeah.
Oh, I gotta tune in more onto this podcast.
Yeah.
I love that, honestly. As far as, like, my relationship with my father is very more so me on the reliant side. Like, I gotta initiate it. So it's like hearing something like that where he realized it wasn't too late and he could, put his best foot forward is great to hear and great to see. Shout out to all the fathers that's out there that's doing their thing, that's being in their kids' life. That's important. I also want to ask you, like, so what's outside of the podcast, what's some other things that you got coming up or that you're working on?
So aside from the podcast, I have another book that's about to come out. I think it's like my 12th book.
Oh, shit. 12 books?
Yeah. So outside of being an author, I'm also a publisher. So I help other people publish their own books.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I have an album that's coming out. My album has been brewing for like 2 to 3 years.
Shout out to the album.
The album is gonna come. I have Fool Me Once Part 2. It's another single that's coming out. I have another single that's after that. And it's just like, yeah, like I'm just venturing off into so many different other things, other podcasts, trying to act, just doing whatever I feel like God wants me to do. Not that I want it for myself, but it's thing that God has called upon my life. So it's like, I just gonna do it.
I love that. I love that. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
It's been a process coming, but I'm so glad that we got it done. This was a great conversation prior to the cameras being cut on. If only y'all could see what we talked about before the cameras
we
even
had
got
a good
cut on.
conversation. I really want you to show the people what you got, because I bought him some gifts.
Yes.
And I want him to show the people what he got when I brought it to him. So these are things that I kind of been had in my inventory, like since I started becoming Tierra Traniece or whatever. But it's something that just means so much to me, because I feel like as an artist, when you go back down to it, it's like, what? I remember being a super fan, like a mega fan of Bow Wow. And I have a sister, like my sister who do my hair right now. She's not my real sister, but I grew up with her. And she do my hair right now. And I was like a Bow Wow fanatic. Like, I'm like, oh, the Shaw Gregory Moss. His mama name is Teresa Caldwell. Like, I love Bow Wow.
Shout out to all the girls that had Bow Wow on their binders.
Everywhere.
My cousin.
Bow Wow was everywhere. I stayed in the projects, and Bow Wow, all the Word Up posters, the Write Up magazines, they were all cut up and put out in my bedroom. So I appreciated it. But I bought him Put Me Last, Feel Me First poster. I got him the Rookie in the Vet. That was the EP. That was my EP that came out
2020, right?
2020. It came out at the
out.
peak of. So the week that the Rookie in the Vet came out, the week after is when COVID hit. So I didn't get a chance to really like move my EP like I should have. Yeah. That's a really great ballpoint pen. And on there, I think
love pens.
that came out with my book. That was the Boss Up after the breakup after the Boss Up. That was Fool Me Once. So I turned Fool Me Once into a song, and I turned it into a book. And that book was my first 10 bands that I ever made by myself from a book. So that's over there. I love Tierra Traniece. That's a pen. Put Me Last, Feel Me First. And that pen right there is the Boss Up after the breakup. And so like I just wanted to bring him something that kind of like depicted who Tierra Traniece is, and it showed who I am. And also just to give you a gift, because you didn't have to bring me on your platform, but you did. And so
I appreciate you.
That's just
on.
a gift, and that's just what it is, and that's just how I am as a person. So I hope you enjoy it. And this cover is so important to me, because when this EP initially came out, my grandma was living. Yeah. And this was the year 2000. And everybody know, like, this is me and my grandma relationship. It's always like, she's a Leo woman, so she's always she tell you what to do. But me being a Gemini, it's like, no, you don't tell me what to do. I'm gonna tell you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, but my way. And so I lost my grandma 2 years ago, and I'm just grateful that she was able to like experience like herself being on the cover, and like people knowing her and identifying her, and just like she was a celebrity in her own right. So my grandma passed away 2 years ago. She got to experience the Rookie in the Vet, and the Rookie in the Vet was so important, because like I feel like I am the rookie. She was the vet. She taught me everything she know in it. If you understand anything about life, you always are the rookie. Like you never really be the vet.
That's facts.
You are both really when you maneuver through life, depending on how you come. But you are always the rookie. Like the teacher never stops learning. I tell my kids all the time. Like even when I'm in the classroom, like I tell my students, like, yeah, I went to school for this. I'm a teacher, but I never stop learning, because times where I'm teaching my kids something, and they're like, oh, but Miss Thompson, you could do it this way. Yeah. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That make more sense. Yeah. And I always let my kids know, like, just because I'm older don't mean I know more, or I know it the better way. Like, So like yeah, like that is such a it's such an important picture to me because that was my girl. My grandma taught me everything that I knew, and that's how I came up with the rookie and the vet because that was my vet. That was my vet, and I feel like I just always been a rookie and everything. And she taught me everything that I knew. And in this game, you just gotta always be willing to learn. So it's just like, yeah, I appreciate you for inviting me on your platform, but I just know I had to come with something to bring to you because you didn't have to bring me here. You didn't have to share your platform with me, but you did. And so it's like, I had to bring you a gift.
I appreciate that so much. You the first person to give me a gift on this platform. So thank you so much. I actually got some stuff that I was planning on bringing, but I wasn't able to get it all together.
Okay.
But I'm going to get your information and I'm going to send it to you.
I'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Come
They'll see me again.
Yes. We got, all right, bet. That's
They'll
even more perfect. I got some stuff for you. I got at least about three products.
Okay.
3 products I'm finna give you off of the strength of everything you giving me. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I told you how I am as a Virgo. We talked like as far as getting gifts. I don't be knowing how to act. Hey.
It's okay.
So thank you so much for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
Where can they find you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok at Tierra Traniece. That's TIERRATRANIECE. On Facebook, it's Tierra Traniece, but you can only follow me on Facebook if you want to be my cousin. If you don't want to be my cousin, you cannot follow me on Facebook.
That's real. I feel like Facebook is more personal.
Yeah, they're my cousins. They're my family over there.
That's real.
Yeah.
And follow A2A.podcast on all platforms. On YouTube, it's A2A.podcast with an S at the end. You know, somebody had the other name, so I had to put the S on the end. You know what I'm saying? If you need editing, hit up dream.edits.vid. You can find that on Instagram also. We do all kind of editing from YouTube vlogs to podcasts. You know, we dabbling in the music videos. We're getting more into that, but we're growing. You know what I mean? Follow the AV Club Studios. If you looking for a place to do your own podcasting, lighting, 4K cameras, great microphones, Rodecaster, holds up to 6 to 8 people. You know, hit up the AV Club Studios.